What's going on, YouTube? Back with another album review. Today we are reviewing an album called Lizard by King Crimson, and this album was released in 1970. Let's do it. I just want to talk a little bit about the people on this album because it's kind of important when you think about King Crimson. If you know anything about King Crimson, their who is in the band changes like by every album. So I like it's kind of like you have to kind of think about who's playing here. So of course we've got Robert Fripp. Robert Fripp has stayed relatively consistent with King Crimson, and he takes part in, you know, he's probably the most consistent out of any member really at all. Um, but Robert Fripp is there, and he's producing this. And then we have Gordon Haskell, which is a new one, which is an old schoolmate of Fripp's, I think. Um, and Gordon Haskell. It's very interesting. You listen. He's doing the vocals for this album. Um, and he's just doing the vocals, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about that later. But we also have a John Anderson feat. We have a John Anderson feature. John Anderson is featured as a vocalist in this album, which is very awesome in my opinion. I don't remember where he sings, but maybe I'll re-listen and figure it out because I do love John Anderson. He is just an amazing singer. So the way to describe the instrumentals, I wanna I wanna call this like this is prog rock, of course, but I hear heavy influences of like avant-garde jazz. I seriously do. Especially in um the title track Lizard on the second side of the vinyl. Um, and I think it's very avant-garde. And if you listen to of course the other side, it's like very strange patterns of just with the orchestral instruments. It certainly is very creative, and I absolutely love it, and I've learned to absolutely love it. 'Cause my history of this album, I listened to it and I thought it was a piece of dog shit because like I was like, what is this crap? Why is it so weird and why is it so? And that's what you think when you're not a seasoned prog rock listener and you go and listen to like an expert prog rock. I wouldn't say this is like this isn't like crazy progressive, but it certainly is up there. It's not beginner. So if you want to listen to this, make sure you have like a lot of prog rock albums to listen to because you might not like it, and make sure you listen to it like a few times, just to get used to it. But once you get into it, it's a really good experience in my opinion. One thing I really want to talk um about this album is the cover. And this is kind of harder to explain because I don't have this album on vinyl. And with the vinyl, you can show the back of the album cover. But essentially, there's a lot of symbolism with the album cover. I guess I'm gonna read off my notes here, if that's all right. But I guess there on the back there's the letter. So you see on the front, if you're looking at the cover here, the front it says Crimson. On the back, supposedly it says King, King Crimson. And it's supposed to stand for like the subsections of Lizard because there's there's images on it, I think, that depict kind of the four subsections of Lizard. The the title track on the second side of the album. It's supposed to the images are supposed to symbolize like the four subsections. And then Crimson on the front has images that represent the lyrics of tracks 1 through 4, I guess. So that's very interesting to hear and see. And honestly, I think next time I listen to this, I will be paying close attention to that. And as I promised, I was going to talk a little more about Gordon Haskell. So he was a an old schoolmate of Robert Fripp. He joined the band just for this one album. So he left shortly after this album was recorded, and I guess they had quite a bit. I mean, like it was kind of hard, right? Robert Fripp and Haskell, they had many difficulties with this album. Um, and this is something interesting. I'll find, you listen to their other albums, King Crimson. You listen to In the Court of the Crimson King, In the Wake of Poseidon, and I think sometimes of course, there are like songs where there's smooth vocals, but most of the time it's pretty rough vocals. But for this album, Lizard, the whole time it sounds a lot, kind of smoother vocals, and um, it's a lot of people don't like the sound of Gordon Haskell's vocals. I honestly do not mind them. I think they are pretty good. But I think I've heard people say, "Oh, I don't like Gordon Haskell's vocals." I don't know. I really like it. I'm actually very fond of this album. Yeah, those are a few clips of just the album where it will sound well. There's there's like if you go back and listen to those parts, like it just sounds like some parts sound like avant-garde, and I actually like that. Like that's just like an acquired taste. You have to get used to that avant-garde sound. And then some of them are just very beautiful, and um some of the parts are very beautiful and orchestral, and I really like it. I think it kind of swings back and forth sometimes. So, overall, this album definitely not my favorite King Crimson album of all time. That would go to In the Wake of Poseidon, which I'll make another video about. But um, this is it's a it's a very progressive album, and I really love the creativity in it. And once I got used to like orchestral like sounds and avant-garde jazz, like it's really a nice experience to listen, like once you have the prerequisites. So if you think you're ready for it, go ahead and listen. All I can say is if you don't like it, then I don't blame you, because it is weird, but it's really good once you get used to it, in my opinion. So, um, see you guys. Shout out to TJ. Hope you feel better.